Taylor Swift concert, and I'm pretty sure that you heard it, but all of them got cancelled. I had the luck that I went to the one in Munich already, so I have to say I'm a bit upset, especially for the people who didn't see her yet, because I can say at least I was lucky to see her. I'm very, very grateful, don't get me wrong, but of course I can still be sad about it. I was looking forward to it. I thought I could vlog a little bit, I thought I could take you with me. But turns out that nope, we're not going to the Eras tour, but we're gonna do a lot of food trips and I hope museums, and like in general we're gonna visit the city, so I'm very excited for that and I hope you're gonna be excited as well.
Kevin, my sister, her friends and I took the train to the airport, and even though it's August, it wasn't that full there and everything was super fast. We even had time for some shopping and lunch. We found those diaries, which are so weird as they play a very loud song when you open them, and they're not really discreet, and even my phone didn't like them, I guess. When it was time for boarding, we headed on the flight and we were surrounded by other Swifties, so we started trading bracelets with them, and Kevin even got a free coffee in return for the bracelets, which was great. The flight attendants were so kind. It was a nice flight and it passed so fast with all of the trading, but I'm glad that we landed safely as I'm a bit afraid of flights. And here we are with all of our bracelets, and spoiler, we will return with almost none. Also, the airport in Vienna looks so good and has so many stores that aren't just overpriced or luxury goods, and they even sell Pokemon cards. And here you can see us smiling, but 10 minutes later an inspector told us to pay €100 each because apparently the airport is in a different area than Vienna and our Vienna tickets does not count. What a great welcome. Honestly, the mood was not that great then. My sister and her friends were in a different hotel, so we went separate ways, and I was so happy about our hotel as it's right next to a metro station. So we headed to my #1 destination for the city trip, which was Corneliusgasse. Because of Taylor Swift's song Cornelia Street, Swifties met here to celebrate and dance together, and they even had 2 trees for trading bracelets. Of course, some Swifties were crying as well, which was heartbreaking to me. But in general, I feel like the vibes were amazing here, and I never had such a positive experience with a fandom or a community. I was so happy that we came here, and Coca-Cola even gave free drinks to everyone, which is a cool way of marketing. And I couldn't wait to trade some of my bracelets on the tree as well, and talk to other Swifties that came from other countries, and all of us were very sad, but we really tried to make the best out of the situation. In the evening, we met with the others at Naschmarkt, which is an area with many food and shopping stalls. I also feel like you have to keep your eyes open here, because vendors want to sell overpriced stuff, so don't let them trick you and try to just enjoy this beautiful area, because I feel like Vienna looks like it came out of a dream with all of those beautiful buildings. So we only walked around and found this Asian restaurant where all of us found something, which can be hard if you're traveling in a group, right? Can anyone relate? I chose sushi, and they also had bento boxes and some vegetarian options, so my food was really good even though it came a little bit late, but it was delicious and I was happy, and we had time for some people watching and guess if someone is a Swiftie or not, which is quite easy because you just have to pay attention if they have friendship bracelets or not. With a filled stomach, we headed to Karlsplatz because I read in a WhatsApp group that someone was doing a Taylor Swift party, but instead we found this beautiful spot with people relaxing and we didn't see any party. We just had a good time here and enjoyed the scenery, and then we headed back to our hotel afterwards. I didn't sleep that well, but I was ready for day 2, which would have been our Eras Tour concert, but instead we headed into the city center where we wanted to grab some breakfast with the others, and Kevin was very sleepy. And look at my bracelets! I traded most of them at Corneliusgasse yesterday. And can we please appreciate how beautiful the city is? No matter where you look at, the architecture is breathtaking. It reminded me of Paris, but cleaner and more organized, and I really loved that. I really want to come here again. It's so beautiful. Like, this is the city center. Wow. It was time to get some coffee, and I found a breakfast spot the day before, and we were lucky to get a seat on the outside because it seemed to be very popular. The breakfast was quite pricey, to be honest, but it was also delicious, and it was a great way to start your day. Mine and Kevin's was a bit cheaper, but I mean, it's quite simple to make a granola, right? But I wanted something small because I didn't know what the day would hold, because you know me, I love to eat when I'm on a vacation, and I thought maybe there would be some nice snacks on the way, so I didn't eat too much. Since the Kapuzinergruft was right next to us, we went there and we got a free entrance after showing our Eras 2 tickets. Vienna really offered so many nice things to us, which we really appreciated. You can learn a lot about history down here and take a look at the graves of great personalities. It might sound weird, but most of those graves look like art, and I loved looking at all of the details, and this whole building itself was amazing, so it is really worth coming down here. I think the entrance fee is around €8. Some Swifties even left bracelets at the grave of Sissi, and a lot of people also left art here and different graves or letters, which was very interesting to read. And also the best part of coming here, and you should do it if it's a summer day, was that the temperature was quite cool because it was such a hot weekend and spending time in the sun was so exhausting. It was time for snacks again, so we headed to Shodai Matcha, which was a place that I really wanted to visit here. Also, my sister's outfit was so on point here. She looked like she fit into this whole thing. And oh my god, they had the best matcha I ever had. And yeah, just come here please, because all of the cakes that I tried, they were so delicious. And I had the strawberry cocoa matcha, and oh my god, it was honestly the best. I want to have this again, and I will try to recreate this forever because it was amazing. This was my sister's cake, very, very good as well. So sweet, but not too sweet. And then we had this cake. It was so fluffy and it had tapioca pearls on it. And oh my god, I came here again on the last day and I had it again because it was just so good and so delicious and I was amazed. Come to Shodai Matcha. I can recommend it. It's so delicious, it's so good. The desserts are amazing and better come early because the later you come, the fuller it gets. And here is another spot where I had the feeling that I was in Paris. Our next spot was the Stephansdom, where they offer many guided tours, but we chose the one where you go down the catacombs, which cost €7. It was quite cool down there as well, but you were not allowed to take pictures of videos, so I can't show you anything. I felt like you had to pay for everything extra in this church, and like in general in Vienna, so even for the audio stations you had to pay something, which I found a bit odd, so we didn't stay for long after the tour, and we headed to a different part of the city. The girls wanted to head to a bookshop that offered a space for making friendship bracelets, and they were playing Taylor Swift music as well. And at first I didn't want to join because I felt like I didn't want to come to Vienna to make friendship bracelets, but I was quite tired and the heat was terrible. So I took a seat and made a bracelet with the beads that they offered here in the bookshop, so you didn't have to bring anything. And it was really nice because it was an amazing opportunity to talk to other Swifties and trade bracelets again. And there was one girl. She had so many bracelets. Oh my god, I have to do this as well if Taylor ever returns. And I was smart that I didn't eat as much because there was a restaurant with Biangbiang Noodles nearby. I am so addicted to this food, I could eat it every day, so of course we had to come here, even though it looked a bit sad, but I feel like those are the places where you get the best food, and oh my god, it was so delicious. It had some cucumbers, peanuts, tofu, and it tasted amazing. We paid, and together with the others, we walked to Corneliusgasse again because they didn't see it the day before. There were so many Swifties again, and the girls traded a few bracelets and enjoyed their time here. It was so amazing, and I loved to experience that with the others. Since we felt a bit tired, we found this queer community bar, and it was so cool. They had board games, and they were watching queer trash TV shows here together, and it felt like you entered a cozy house gathering. But we had some drinks here before the others said goodbye, and Kevin and me headed to Corneliusgasse again, and the mood was even better in the evening. And that was it for day 2. For the next day, I had the amazing idea to get breakfast in our hotel, and it was a buffet for 15 euros per person, which was amazing. We had to eat something because we headed to an anime con and everything is closed here on Sundays. After breakfast, we took a train to AniNite, an Austrian con. The building was so modern and they had some food stalls outside with a lot of Japanese food options, but also other choices. The con was rather small with 2 halls, but the entrance fee was totally fine and we even saved 3 euros after showing our Eras tour tickets. Thank you so much for that, this is so kind. And of course, I had to go to the artist alley first and check out all of the stalls. I always do a first run where I just look and then on the second run I just buy something. And the artist had so many beautiful things, I couldn't stop myself from spending money. And I also met one of the artists that I follow for a very long time, probably since I was like 10, since we were both part of a Pokemon community where I met other people as well, so please check them out on social media, they're called Jolly Rose. Of course I bought some things and we headed to the vendors afterwards. Here most things were a bit expensive, for example they wanted 150 euro for those plushies, so we didn't buy anything here. And Kevin got some tea and I had to struggle because my pants were so annoying. I could not zip them up again, so Kevin had to help me. And I didn't want to go to a toilet anymore on the day, but yeah. They also had a photo spot and a stage where we joined the anime music quiz.
Wie gesagt, mein Name ist Wei, ich bin einer der Solosänger von
Do you know the song? Because I don't. If you know it, please let me know in the comments which one it is. And since we got a very good overview of the con, we headed to Kopa Beach at Donauinsel, which felt so different than the rest of the city and so beachy. People were swimming and relaxing, and it was perfect for this hot summer day. We also found a Greek restaurant that played Greek music, and it felt like we were in Greece for a hot minute. But it was so hot, we couldn't really stay for too long, and we regret that we didn't bring anything for bathing with us. Our next destination was 20 minutes away with a tram, and it was an art museum. It was so kind because they gave us a free entry as well, because we're all sad Swifties and we just met there and had a good time together, I guess. Look at this building, it is so nice, and this museum is focused on the art of Friedrich Hundertwasser, who did buildings like that. I will talk about this more in a minute. And they had a poll about who is responsible for doing something about climate change. Like, is it everyone's responsibility or just the government's? So I said it's everyone, and Kevin said it's the government, but I feel like both answers are right, like both sides should do something. I really like this because you used a little snippet of your ticket that you got for the museum, which is such a cool idea. And by the way, Friedrich Hundertwasser hated straight lines and was very involved in architecture that included a lot of like natural forms and green elements, which you can see in this museum. And I'm very picky with art museums, but this one was so interesting as the whole house was part of the art and I loved all of the plants in here. It had 4 stories and the last 2 stories were used as an exhibition for other artists. The current one focused on forests and I really liked it, and apparently this is a fake of a statue that got stolen and it was found in a random forest. So the artist created this fake out of salt and left it in the forest as well, where it was surveillance the whole time so you can watch how animals and how nature interacted with it, and this is such a cool project if you ask me. They had questions about how you imagine the forest and how the forest will look like in 100 years. And there were a lot of drawings that you could do there. And a lot of Swifties also added some Taylor Swift lyrics and Taylor Swift references, which I really loved and appreciated. There's also a cafe in here which looked beautiful, but we had to head to our next destination as it said online that it closes at 6 p.m. But later we found out that it was open for even longer. So weird. We went to the Hundertwasser Village, which was like a 10-minute walk from the museum. Again, the architecture was so impressive and it contained a small village with different stores and a cafe. Everyone was taking pictures and we also got something to drink and waited for the others to join us. Also, look at this little river and this cafe. It would be so perfect for a sushi restaurant where you can clean your hands. And this is also where we took a seat and had a nice overview over this beautiful area. We waited for the others here who had different plans for this day until then. When they came, we took a look at the buildings on the outside as well, which were made in the same style. I love this so much, especially the usage of plants. We need this more often in cities, and I'm very happy to see that more cities are approaching this kind of style nowadays. In a beautiful city like Vienna, it's not even that bad to wait for the tram because everything looks beautiful. But when it came, we all just took a little break because we were so tired. What was I thinking on that day? We kind of built the itinerary way too much as we headed to Prater, which is a park with roller coasters in Vienna. And you can come here and have a good time all over the year and also have some food or just ride some roller coasters or just enjoy this park. So it was really nice to be here around sunset, and we walked up some fire stairs to have this beautiful view over this place, so do this as well if you're here. But yeah, in general, we just enjoyed the mood here, we enjoyed the people, the noises, and the lights, and I really love this. It is so perfect for a summer day. We also went on one attraction, which is this water ride, and it looked very boring from below, but I was so scared when we were on top of it. But I'm afraid of roller coasters in general, so don't listen to me. I think for other people it might be very boring, but for me it was very thrilling, and I was awake after that. Did you notice that we didn't eat that much this time? So yeah, we had to head to a restaurant, and the others found this one that was, in my opinion, a little bit of a tourist trap. But the main point is that they sent your food over a roller coaster. But yeah, it would have been nice if they weren't stuck all the time, or you didn't have to stand up every second to get your food or push it to strangers on the same table. They also sent this food in little pots, and I get why, but you know, if I want to eat out of the pot, I can do this at home for a cheaper price. But But yeah, the others liked it. It was just me who felt like it was a bit unnecessary. I was being a little bit of a hater, but it was a bit pricey for the food portions. They were quite small. And they also give you a free goodie if you rate the place well, so don't trust the reviews, okay? Don't trust them. The food was okay, but I think it was one meal on the more expensive side, which was not worth its price, let's just say this. But we had so much fun and laughed a lot here, so it was worth the experience anyway. And again, not even my phone wanted to deal with this here. And here I had a little fight with my sister because she wanted to give them a good rating to get this gift, so yeah, just enjoy it.
Nein, aber keine gute. Nein. Nein. Schmeckt das hier? Sie hat gerade gesagt, das schmeckt ihr nicht.
And that was a light show and they played Bruno Mars and I hate Bruno Mars. After that it was quite late and we headed back to the hotel. We were so tired, but we had to get up quite early on the other day because we wanted to visit the Schönbrunn castle. And everyone said it's so pretty and you have to go there. And since our hotel was quite close, we did it. Since you have to pay money for entering the castle and for any other attraction in the garden, we only went to the garden, which was huge, but it was a bit disappointing that you have to pay for everything extra. And it really is quite pricey, and since we didn't really have the time for it, we just said that we will come back here when we ever visit Vienna again and spend a whole day here. They also had a Japanese garden, which looked very peaceful and reminded me of Animal Crossing. And they also had a tropical house where you had to pay extra. But yeah, everything was very pretty. And after a brief tour, we continued and headed to the city center where we met the others at the National Library. Before we met at the library, we spotted this store with Sigmund Freud merch and other merch as well, and I really loved that cat tote bag, but it was a bit too pricey for the fact that I already have like 20 tote bags. So we just did some window shopping before we headed to the library and met with the others. This place looked like it came out of a Disney or fantasy movie, and it was so dreamy. I really loved being here and seeing all of those old books and the amazing architecture again. The entrance fee was around 10 euros and they didn't offer a Swiftie discount. It was also Monday, so the concert wouldn't be a thing on the day anyway. We left our luggage in the lockers in the library and continued to stroll around Vienna, and we really wanted to eat something because it was lunchtime. I found this restaurant called Palmenhaus on Instagram, and I really wanted to come here because the location looked really cool. It looked like we entered a butterfly house, which is next door by the way, but again you have to pay an entrance fee. And I really wanted to eat some Wiener Schnitzel here. It was very pricey, but you know, when in Vienna, you have to eat it. It was so soft and delicious, and the salad was so good as well. I really love salads. But since I come from a region in Germany that loves sauces, I wanted to have some kind of mushroom sauce or anything with the schnitzel, but I also thought I would just eat it the regular way that people do here, so I didn't want to be too picky. The others had Wiener Schnitzel yesterday, so they went to a dumpling place. So we met again at the National History Museum of Vienna, which is opposite of the Art Museum of Vienna. It is my sister's third time in Vienna, but she insisted on coming to this place again, and I have to agree. It is so beautiful and informative. Maybe it's even perfect like for children, but I really want to come back here again when I have more energy, because all of the heat really destroyed me on that day, and I couldn't process everything properly and not even enjoy it that much. But look at how amazing it looks here. I felt like I was in the museum of Night at the Museum, and they even had a moving dinosaur and a lot of like like dinosaur models, so that strengthened that feeling even more. Also had an own section for minerals, fossils, and fishes, and I felt like I was in the Animal Crossing museum, which I love so dearly, so I enjoyed my time here. We also didn't have that much time here as we had to catch our flight and we headed to the airport after that, so we left the museum and entered an overcrowded train that took around 20 minutes to the airport. Here the process was very smooth and we even got a dinner for a reasonable price, which I'm not used to at airports, but it was my first flight with a female pilot and it was so smooth.
Na Mädels, das war doch ein toller Flug.
Das ist eine Frau geflogen.
Ja. Übel.
In general, I really fell in love with Vienna, and even though the concert got cancelled, we enjoyed our time here and the party with the Swifties, so I hope I can come back here soon. Thank you for watching and see you next time.